What's up guys, it's Connor Demorex, and today we have a ChaosGallentmon deck profile for you for Digimon TCG. And with that, let's get started. So to start things off, we have the babies. We run 4 Demi-Meramon, still the best baby for purple. Just being able to filter is always good. And then we run the 1 Zanimon, however you say it. I don't know how the fuck you say it, but Tsukimomon's still really good. I mean, given something retaliation can be useful. I mean, overall you mainly only want this, but I mean, as a backup, this is probably still the best backup egg we have for purple right now. I know we have the new baby that gives power, but let's be honest, your purple, you don't really care if you die anyway. I mean, you get pluses off your stuff dying. So starting things off after the babies, let's move into our rookies. We run the 4 Guillemon. Guillemon is really amazing in this deck. The extra memory can help you extend plays, especially with Gallentmon himself. Then we run 4 Tapiamon because we have a lot of deletion effects in this deck, so I mean we want to plus off that as much as possible. Next we run a 2 Guzzy. Guzzy's really good for decks like Hex, Lilith Loop, can even be good against yellow with Blinding Rays and Patamons. So you still need to run this. Then I'm running 2 the Tsukimon. It's the purple Patamon. It gets inheritable on deletion, gain 1 memory, so it's like the Guillemon, so it's just more memory gain on deletion, because sometimes you don't mind deleting your stacks in this deck. And then lastly, 2 Devimon, because 2 play cost is good for just flooding, extending plays. It's just cheap evolution costs. So that's it for the rookies. Now moving on to the 4s, which is a little tech heavy. So we run the 4 Devimon still. I mean, your cheap cost blockers always good. 3 Meramon. I mean, Meramon's again cheap costing. And to be honest, when you're evolving this deck, you want to be attacking with this. Then we run 2 Vilemon because the 6k blockers are still really strong. It's good against things like Nidhogg, which is still floating around in the format, which people don't seem to realise sometimes, and it's a little bit harder to kill than your 5ks. And then lastly, for the 4s, we're running 2 Devimon. We run a Devimon because it's just good spot removal, and the retaliation can get rid of some problematic cards still. This is down to preference, though. You can cut this if you want to. So that's it for 4s. Now moving on to our 5s. We're running 4 Black War Growlmon, one of the other new cards from BT05, which is really good. Digiburst 3, you can bring back a rookie from your drop zone, which can help extend your plays. But the main reason why we run this is for the inheritable of on attack, you delete something to restand. So obviously you want to be deleting things like Guillemon, just because you could just go attack, delete this, gain a memory, restand. It's just really good for extending your attack plays. Next we have 2 Chimeramon, because we do run Zort in here. It's a good target and it's still good spot removal. And then lastly, we are running the 2 Skullmeramon, just because they are a 5 drop level 5 and 2 to evolve, so it's good for extending plays. You can, if you want to, run Lady Devimon in this deck. Personally, through playtesting, I haven't found I needed it yet, but it may coming eventually, so that's always there to look out for. Then moving on to our level 6s, we run obviously the 4 Gallentmon. Gallentmon is actually really strong. It's still really good. I know most people are just like, oh, run Lilith Loop, but this deck's still pretty strong. For you don't know what it does, on Digivolution, you may delete one of your other Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Now, the reason why this is really good, so if you don't know, he is a 4 to evolve cost. So if you have the Guillemon on board, when you evolve him with Guillemon, Guillemon makes him a 3 cost rather than a 4. That's another reason why this is really good. Then it has your turn once per turn. When one of your other Digimon is deleted, you can bring it back, but on play effects are not. active, which is another reason why we are not running Labramon in this build. So the ideal play is you go into this, delete this, gain the memory, it comes back, and then if you've got the black Wargroundmon underneath, you can then go swing, delete, gain another memory back, restand. So you can just extend plays for days. It's just a really strong card, and overall the deck needed it, in my opinion anyway. Some people might disagree, but that's on you if you want to. Then next for the 6s, I run 2 Anubis. I know some people like the Tactimon. Personally, I prefer Anubis because Anubis can kill people a lot faster. Being able to swing as soon as it comes out of the drop zone is always handy, especially with his skill being able to bring something back once a turn, and the fact that he runs Zort. So this can help push the game a lot faster. I know Tactimon is good for things against Lord Nightmon, but personally, I just don't like it. If you want to run it, you can run it. That's on you. But this is what's been working out for me. And then moving on to the 7s, we run the 3 Zort. Zort is just really amazing, especially in these kinds of decks where you can just extend your plays so much. On the attack, being able to remove a card by bouncing things like this back to your hand so you can use this again is really strong. Zort's just a really strong card right now. And then we run 1 defeat. Defeat is still really good. If you can evolve it, it's good to get rid of some of those pesky Tamers like in Hexblow. It can get rid of pretty much anything. It can get rid of tire mats. It just can come in handy. And if you do hit in a security, I mean, that's nice too. There's not really much else to say about it. But yeah, that's it for the 7s. Now, moving on to our Tamers. I run 3 tire mats. So you see this is the purple mat right now. So I am having to play this right now because I don't have the 3rd. But when I get the 3rd, it will be this. So 3 tire mats. Tire mats with all your Omnimons just really strong, being able to get the extra security attack. And the +2 security can be really nice. And then lastly, to round off the deck, I am running 2 Hell's Gate. Yeah. So one thing with this deck is it can delete level 5s or lower. But when it comes to level 6s, it's a bit more harder for this deck to deal with them now. I did debate Trump Sword, but honestly, Trump Sword, I mean, their 6s are going to be suspended from attacking anyway. It's not going to be able to hit. Whereas Hell's Gate, it can pretty much deal with any of those big problematic cards. So it's still worth running. And then lastly, we run the 2 Mega Digimon Fusion just to be able to go into our Zorts for free. But yeah, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you like it. If you have any suggestions or anything, leave it in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And we'll be back soon with more Digimon content. Alright, peace.